Hello. Today we're going to be making oven-baked short ribs and garlic confit pomme puree. Just like last time, we'll start off by peeling our potatoes. The amount you're going to want ultimately will depend on how much you think you can eat, but I did about 2 or 3 potatoes. It's kind of hard to remember since I recorded this like a year and a half ago. Next, we're going to go ahead and get our carrots peeled as well. Again, 2 or 3 should do you fine. We'll go ahead and set our prep to the side and get our workspace all cleaned up and ready for celery. If I'm being totally honest, there's no need for all this precise knife work, given that we're going to be blending these vegetables at the very end, but, well, I like my nice knives, and I like using them. Feel free to just rough chop the vegetables. I'd be lying if I said this part wasn't kind of satisfying to watch, though. Now that we've got our celery all chopped up, we'll want to get that off to the side and work on our carrots. And right about now is when I realized I never recorded myself chopping those carrots. Probably because it's a little embarrassing because I was quite slow at this time, but who cares? Instead, you get footage of me washing my hands. I guess as proof that I wash my hands while I'm recording these. Probably too often. Anyways, now we'll get on to chopping our onion to complete our mirepoix. Half a large onion to our 2 sticks of celery and our 2 carrots. We'll go ahead and get those in a bowl and off to the side, and we'll bring out the main contender, our short ribs. I do about 3, which is on the larger side for one person, but I really like short ribs, so. For seasonings, we'll go in with our usual contenders, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and I forgot to record it, but I would actually recommend adding some nutritional yeast. It adds just an amazing depth of flavor. We'll go ahead and oil our pot. Nowadays, I would do this with a cast iron Dutch oven, but I didn't have one yet. Right now, I'm just letting my pot heat up so we can get a good sear on these short ribs. Now, we're going to go ahead and add our short ribs to the pot. We're looking for a good sear on all sides. Once our sear is good enough, we'll want to go ahead and flip those onto their side. And to avoid boring you guys with the whole process, I'll just show you the finished product. Once you're about here, you're going to go ahead and pull the short ribs from the pot. We'll just set them off to the side for now. We'll throw in our mirepoix and use the liquid that comes with it to deglaze our pot. After those vegetables have sweated a bit, we're going to go ahead and add tomato paste. Incorporate that tomato paste and make sure there's not any fond left stuck on the bottom of your pot. Now, once you're here, I generally just sweep the vegetables to the side. After that, we'll reintroduce our short ribs to the pot. We'll add some beef stock and some dry red wine. I'd tell you how much, but honestly, I usually just eyeball it. Next, we'll add a lid and pop it into a 350-degree oven for about 2 to 2.5 hours. Next, we'll start on our garlic confit. Honestly, probably the most involved part of this whole dish, mostly because it involves peeling an absurd amount of garlic. In fact, I think I'm going to include the entire garlic peeling recording just to show you both how uncoordinated I am and just how long this takes. And with that, we can return to the actual fun parts of cooking. We're going to go ahead and add olive oil. Just cover the garlic cloves. It doesn't really matter. Cover with aluminum foil, and we can pop it into the same 350-degree oven, this time for about 30 to 45 minutes. Last up on the docket is our mashed potatoes. There's really no need for all this fancy knife work. Just go ahead and rough chop the potatoes. We'll get our potatoes in the pot, cover with cold water, and boil until fork tender. After that, go ahead and strain the water, and I usually like to throw them back into the pot and let them steam for just a minute or two more, and then you'll mash them using your preferred method. Here, I'm using a ricer because honestly, I prefer a smooth mash to a lumpy one, but from what I've been told, that's actually the difference between a pomme puree and just a mashed potatoes is the consistency of the mash. And this is a smooth one, so I call it a pomme puree. Also because I'm trying to sound fancy. Next, we'll go ahead and add our cream and butter. It's decently important that you go ahead and preheat these guys. Otherwise, they'll shock your potatoes and lead to a weird texture. Go ahead and whip up those potatoes. Get them as smooth as you like. Again, that's pretty much personal preference. If you're wondering what that thing I moved was, it was just a rest for my cutting board because I have burned cutting boards in the past by putting hot pots and stuff on them. I have left my mark on Escoffier School of Culinary Arts, if you get what I'm saying. Here is when we'll go ahead and add our garlic confit. Again, hot out of the oven. I only added a couple cloves so I can eat the rest as a snack. Go ahead and get those whipped into the potatoes. If you've done everything right, they should be pretty smooth and it shouldn't be too hard. At long last, it should be time to pull our short ribs from the oven. And look at those. Very, very beautiful braised right there. Once again, we'll pull our short ribs from the pot and set them aside. You could totally do this step in a pot, or in your normal blender if you want, but I did this in the measuring cup for better visibility, really. You're going to want to go ahead and blend all of the remaining bits in that pot into a nice sauce. And there's the final product. Not much left to do now but plate our food. I started with quite the heaping spoonful of our pomme puree because I was quite hungry. Next, we'll go in with our short rib. If I'm being honest, for my final presentation, I think now I would put the sauce under, just for looks reasons, but not only did I not know at the time, I also don't think I really cared. Really, I'm in this for the taste. And there we go, our final product. I hope if anyone decides to make this recipe that you enjoy it as much as I do. And I couldn't end this video without showing my actual reaction to taking a bite.
Holy crap, that's good.